Hello everyone, this is Anis with you. Welcome to my channel. In this ASP.NET Core tutorial, we will see how to create a Master Detail CRUD application using ASP.NET Core MVC. We will also look what are the challenges in creating a Master Detail CRUD and why it is very difficult to create a Master Detail CRUD with attractive user-friendly user interface. Let's see the demo of the application which we are going to make in this video. This application is called Advanced Resume Manager. This is the listing of our Resume Manager application. First, we will see the create method. Let's click the create new button. There we go. We got the create screen. Let's first enter the header record in the 8x speed. Okay, now header record information is entered. Let's enter the detailed records. In this detailed record, I added the client-side validations. Actually, it is very difficult to add the client-side validations to the detailed records. But in this application, I will show you the easiest way to add the client-side validations to the detailed records. Now, we have added the second row. But without filling the second row, we are trying to save the record. Notice the client-side Jquery validation does not allow us to save the record. The beauty of this application is we are attaching the client-side validations even to the dynamically added controls. In here, the second row is added dynamically by the JavaScript, but the dynamic row also obeys the client-side validations. Let's add one more row, I mean the third row. As soon as I fill the years work column to some number greater than 0, automatically the error message disappears. And then we have added one more row. So I just wanted to show you that we can add any number of rows and the validations will still work fine for any number of rows. Let's delete the fourth row and we will save the applicant. Okay, the record is saved and listed successfully. Let's click the details button for the applicant which we just created. Wow, the detail screen is also loaded properly and looks very nice. Notice that the 3 rows which we entered are saved in the experience details. Then after, we will click the delete button. Notice the first delete confirmation page is loaded with the message, are you sure you want to delete this record? Because delete is a destructive operation. We have given an option for the user to cancel the operation. Since this is a demo, we want to delete the record. So I pressed delete and the record is deleted successfully. That's great. So in this application, first we are going to create, read and delete operations of the master detail CRUD. Let us see how it is done. Before I start, I would appreciate if you would like and subscribe to this channel so that you will be notified for all of the new videos that I will be posting. I am taking lot of efforts and spending lot of time to make all these videos. In return, I request you to subscribe to this channel. So please subscribe and share this video. Thank you. Okay, let's continue the video now. This is part 2 of the Master Detail CRUD project named Resume Manager. If you have not watched the part 1, I would recommend you to watch the part 1 first. The video URL is in the description. Okay, let's come to the video. I have opened the Resume Manager application and I have entered all the header information of the screen. Let's add the profile photo. As of now, our project does not have any validations in the experience detail grid. So if the user enters 0 in the years marked column of the grid, it accepts and will not show any error. See, we are able to store applicants with 0 years in their experience details. This may leads to erratic data which we do not like. So to bring the client-side Jquery validations for the years worked column, we will add the range validator to the head of the years worked property. We will accept experience of applicants between 1 and 25 only. At first, let's fill the master columns of the form. Okay, now the master columns are filled and even the profile photo is also selected. And then we will fill the detail columns in the experience details grid to check the validations. After that, we entered the company name, then designation details in their respective columns. And then we entered 0 in the years worked column. That has to be noticed. Okay, let's click add. Now the important point comes here. Let's try to save the applicant by pressing the create button. Notice that the years work column validation is not allowing to post the form. This is great, but would not be nice if the error message appears below the experience column? Let's write the code to show the error message below the years work column. Open the create.cs HTML and scroll down to the experience detail grid code. In that, add the validation error span code as shown in the video. This code little important, so please note down the syntax carefully. Okay, we are done. Let's save and run the application. Again, we will enter the same applicant details in the 2x speed. Notice now, as soon as we leave the years work column with 0 value, the error message appears below. If we press the add button, the next row also comes with the error message because the error message also gets cloned. If we try to submit the form, the error validators does not allow us to submit. This is fine. Now we entered 2 for the years work column. After that, the error message got disappeared. Let's try to save. Yes, it got saved. Now let's go to the SQL Server Management Studio to check the database. Let's first check the applicant table. There is no issue in this table. All is good here. Let's check the experience table. Notice that 2 rows are added. First row is proper and the second row is null. We don't want to save the null rows. So before calling the save method, we need to delete all the null rows. Let's add the code to remove all the null rows from the posted model. Notice the code. We are removing all the rows matches the condition in lambda n.yearsWorked equals to 0. Now let's save and run the application. We will create one more applicant record by entering all the details. I will show this in 2x speed so that you will not get bored. Now again we have an empty row. Let's save the record by clicking the create button. Okay, now the applicant record is saved successfully to the database. Now we will check the record in SQL Server Management Studio. First, we will browse the applicant table. Yes, the records are saved properly in the applicant table. Let's browse now the experience table. This time the null row is not created since we already removed the null records in the create method of the controller. Thereafter, I want to change all the HTML helpers editor tags to ASP.NET tag helpers as shown in the video because HTML helpers are obsolete. And I also deleted all the commented lines to make the code neat. So far so good. Now I am going to explain you an important point, so please listen carefully. Let's create a new applicant. I have entered all the details of her and also created her first company details. Now the issue starts. I have entered 0 in the second company details, I mean in the second row, and I clicked the create button. It was supposed to show the validation error message, but it did not show any errors and it completed the create action sequence. This behavior is wrong and can create erratic records. But why the validations did not work and what went wrong? Let me explain the issue and also will tell you how to fix it. MVC uses the Jquery plugin named jQuery.validate.unobtrusive.js for making the client-side validations. The problem with the Jquery is it adds only the controls which are available at the time of form load. It cannot track the dynamically created controls. In our case, the second row is created dynamically using the JavaScript. So, Jquery did not track it. So, what is the solution? Let's see it. First and foremost, we need to provide a ID to the form. I have kept applicant form as the ID for our form. I am going to add an important Jquery script which is going to do the magic for us. Let me explain the script line by line. This script is very important, so please listen carefully. At first, we get the reference of the form using the ID which we provided. The ID of our form is applicant form. Then after, we are calling the method form.unbind. This will remove all the controls of the form from the Jquery controls collection. And then we clear all the validators from the form. After that, we call this validator.unobtrusive.parseOf.form. This line will add the validators to the form again. Finally, we call the form.validate to rebind the form to the jQuery.validate.unobtrusive.js plugin. Then after, call this rebind validators method in the last line of the add item method. This is very important. Okay, we are done. Let's save and run the application to check. Let me enter the details of the new applicant in the 3x speed. Okay, now we will enter the company name in the second row and will leave the as worked to 0. Last time the validation was not working here, but this time it should work. Let's verify it. See, now the validation error message appears when we leave the years worked text box with 0 value. Let's try to post the form with 0 value for years worked text box. We are not able to post the form without entering all the mandatory fields. Now I have entered values for years worked field of the second row and also entered the value for the designation of the second row. Let's click the create button. Yes, the record is saved successfully. Now the create action is completed. Let's do view and delete option next. Let's add the details method to the resume controller. This is the method which is going to provide us the data for the details view. Please notice the record fetching code from the database. It says _context.applicants.include of e.experiences. This is a very important line. It says get me the experiences details record from the details table along with the header table. This is called as eager loading. EF core supports 3 types of child entities loading method: eager loading, lazy loading and explicit loading. To know more about the child entities loading methods, please watch the video difference between lazy loading and eager loading in Entity Framework Core in this channel. I will have the link of the video in the description section. And then after, we are adding a where class to fetch the selected record. After that, return the view with the applicant object. And then let's create the view file to display the details of the applicant in 4x speed. The scaffolding task has created the details view page for us. Let us save and run the application. Now the listing page is loaded. Let's click the details link to view the applicant. Okay, now the details page of the applicant is loaded. But this does not looks good and you may not like it. Same here, I also did not like the details page. I want my details page to look similar to the create page. So rename the details.cshtml which was created by the scaffolding task to old details.cshtml. Copy create.cshtml and paste it to the same folder. And then rename the create-copy.cshtml to details.cshtml. Now we got a new details.cshtml to display the applicant, but details.cshtml file needs some modifications. Let's do it. First and foremost, I want to change the heading to view applicant. Remove the input ASP tag helper for name and also remove the validation span tag. We don't want this because details page is a read only page, so no need validations. Instead of that, I have added the ASP4 tag helper with read only attribute. Then after, I have added the bootstrap class form-control-plain text. Let's run and check the application. Notice the screen. The name input element looks like a label, but we are able to click it, and the beauty is when we click, we get a square outline box over it. This gives a good look to our user interface. Now off the recording, I have done the same change to all the elements. You can notice the output. And then we don't need this file upload control here, so we need to remove the file upload control code from the form. Scroll down to file upload control code section and delete the div of the profile photo. We do not need a file upload component in the details page. We only need an image tag to show the respective photo from the file system. And now we have added the image tag to show the photo. Let's save and run the application. Oops, error. It says the null error. This error comes because we had stored only the file name in the table. We did not store the complete path of the file in the table. So the image tag was not able to find the requested photo image from the table. We know the file path of the photos and the file path is same for all the applicants' photo. Only file name is different. So we include the file path before the photo URL to display the photo. Let's save and run the application again. Let's click the details link. This time the applicant photo is displayed along with the other applicant details. Fine, we are done with the header fields display. Let's go to the detail grid display. Let's add the form control plain text bootstrap class and read only attribute to all the columns of our detail grid. We will also remove the validation spans from the detail grid. Remove all the buttons from the detail grid. I mean add and delete buttons, we don't need it here. And then come to the script section. We don't need any scripts here because the detail space is just to show the details and nothing can be modified here. So it does not make any sense to have scripts to add or delete rows here. Then after we also need to remove the submit button. So we will delete the submit button and will keep only the back button. Let's save and run the application and see the applicants one by one. Wow, the details page is looking very good now. Next, let's do the delete action now. Before going to delete action, I would like to request you guys to subscribe to my channel and also please share and like this video. To create the delete method in the resumeController.cs, first open the resumeController.cs. Then after copy the details method of the controller and paste it below. Delete method is going to be more or less same like the details method. And then rename the pasted method to delete. Delete action always have two methods. First one to retrieve the record from the database and then the second one is to delete the record from the database. Since it is going to have two methods, we need to add the web attribute to both the methods head. First method will be called by the HTTP get. So we will add the HTTP get attribute to the method head. And then let's go to the views folder and we will make a copy of the details.cshtml and paste it to the same folder. Then after, rename the pasted file to the delete.cshtml. Let's open the delete.cshtml and add the confirmation message in the top of the page. Then after, change the heading view applicant to delete applicant. After that, change the ASP action tag helper value to delete. Then an important line is going to come. So please listen carefully. Add a hidden input control to hold the ID of the applicant. This is very important because if we pass the model without the ID, then our delete method in the controller will not be able to delete the requested record. Then after, scroll down to the bottom, I mean to the button section, and then delete the button controls div, because the div currently has only the back button, but we also want the delete button. So we will copy it from the create.cshtml. Now open the create.cshtml and copy the button section div. Then paste it to the delete.cshtml. After that, rename the value of the submit button to delete and then change the CSS class to button-danger. Then after, save and run the application. Let's try to delete the applicant by clicking the delete link. Wow, the delete confirmation page is loaded with all the details. We can cross check and delete the applicant now. Let's click the delete button. Oops, we are getting error. But this is an expected error. As I told you, delete action has two methods. We have only completed coding for the first method. We haven't implemented the second method yet. So let's code now. Open the resume controller again. Let me paste the code for the second delete method. This method will have a HTTP post attribute and it can be called only by the post web by passing an applicant model with it. Let me explain the delete method code. This is actually very simple code. First, we receive the applicant model from the delete form. Then we attach that applicant model to the controller's DB context. And then we change the state of the applicant to entity state.deleted in the context entries. Finally, we save the changes back to the database. That's it. Let's see this in action. Let's click the delete link for the applicant Santosh Matthew. We can see the delete form loaded with the confirmation message. Now let's click the delete button. Notice the applicant Santosh Matthew's record has been deleted. Now we are able to see only the 3 records. Let's check the database table using SQL Server Management Studio. First, we will check the applicants table. Notice that the Santosh Matthew record does not exist. So it is deleted properly. What about the experience table? Let's browse the experience table. Great. Here also the records of Santosh Matthew is deleted properly. So our delete action code is working fine. So far we have completed create, read, delete actions of the master detail CRUD. Only the edit action is pending. Before going to the edit action, I must speak about 2 small issues in the create action. So I don't think I can include edit action in this video because there is a complexity involved in the edit action. Let's see what is the issue in create action first. let's create an applicant named Jennifer in 16x speed. Now I have mistakenly added the second row, but I don't have the details to enter for the second row. So I am not able to post the form due to the validation error. So now I am locked. I have to lose my work and must re-enter all the details. This is a bad approach. To fix this issue, let's go to the button section of create.cshtml. First, increase the size of the dummy button so that we can accommodate 2 buttons in that space. Then after, change the left value to 94% for the add button. After that, change the left value of the delete button to 88% and change the bootstrap class invisible to visible for the delete button. Now save and run the application. I have filled all the details of the applicant and also created an empty row of the recording. Notice that the delete button also visible in the last before add button. Now we have the option to delete the last row. In case if we have changed the mind, let's delete the last row. Then after, click the create button. That's great. The record is created successfully. So the first issue is solved. Then now come to the second issue. The second issue is very important and very difficult to fix this issue. Okay, now again I have entered all the details for the applicant Maria. Notice that I have entered 2 experience row. First one is CTS trainee and the second one is IBM programmer. Now I am going to delete the CTS experience. And after that I am going to click the create button to save the record. Let's see what happens. The record is saved. Let's click the details link. Notice that the experience details of the applicant did not save, but we entered IBM company in her experience rows. We only deleted first row. At the time of submission, we are sure that we entered IBM as the company name and programmer as the designation and 1 year as a experience in the second row, but still it did not save. Why? In the applicant Jennifer record, we had deleted the second row. On that time, the first row got saved, but for applicant Maria, we have deleted the first row. Due to that, the second row also did not save. To prove this issue, I am going to create an applicant with 3 experience rows. Now we are ready to save the applicant with 3 experience detailed records. Now I am going to delete the second row, that is the Microsoft experience row from the list. Any guesses what will happen? Let's click the create button. The header record saved successfully. Remember, we have saved 2 detailed records, IBM and Polaris. My worry is about the detailed records only. Let's see. Click the details link. Notice that only the IBM detail record got saved and the Polaris record did not save. This is a serious issue. We cannot send this project to the client without fixing this issue. But I am very tired now. I will fix this issue only in the part 3 of this video. If anyone has any idea to fix this issue, kindly put in the comments. Come on guys, think. Definitely you can do it, or otherwise wait for my solution. And then I want to beautify the listing page. I have added a CSS class named avatar. This class I will be using for the profile photo. Then I commented the default create links which was created by the MVC scaffolding task. Instead, I have added a stylish and good looking create links div. Then scroll down a bit over here. I have added a table column to display the profile photo. Notice that I have set the CSS style to avatar for the profile photo. Then scroll down to the bottom. Here I have decorated the button links with bootstrap classes. Now let's save and run the application to see the look and feel. Wow, now the index page is looking very good and nice, but this project is not yet completed. But don't worry, we will complete this project in the part 3 after adding the edit and search options. With this, I am completing this video. Before I sign off, I request you to subscribe and share this video. I would appreciate if you would like and subscribe to this channel so that you will be notified for all of the new videos that I will be posting. Thank you and bye for now.